and give it a few seconds here.
Sure.
We're good.
A few seconds. All
I
right.
Literally,
All right, everybody, we're here. It's August 19th, 2024. All the commissioners are here. Town Manager Wade Yost is here. Assistant Town Manager Niles Anderegg is here. Our vast studio audience, the members that are here as well. Thanks, everybody, for being here today. As always, we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Jeff, if you could lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jim. Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you. Jeff does the Pledge of Allegiance like I like having the national anthem. And, you know, it's got a pace to it.
It's slow, yes.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's good. All right, you guys. Well, it's been a while since we've been here, so we'll kind of get warmed up and say hi to everybody and get caught up on everything that we have going on. Wade and Niles, thanks again for today for the briefing of everything we talked about. I put a lot of it on Facebook. You guys saw it on email too, so everything should be familiar to everybody that we're going to talk about tonight. We have our commissioner reports and our announcements. Jeff, after all, it's already been a month, so it's only fair that we start with you.
Sure.
To get the ball rolling.
Parks Board, so go to Parks Board first or announcements first? It doesn't really matter, I guess. So the Parks Board meeting was held on August the 7th. The agenda included the Ishkan Parade. Ishkan is International Society of Krishna Consciousness. And the second thing was follow up on the sidewalk priority list. Regarding the Ishkan Parade, the event is called the Chariot Festival. The date is going to be September the 7th. The event will include merchandise and food vendors over here on Wayland Commons. The permit requests a short parade on Fisher Avenue from Wayland Commons to Wooton and then back to Wayland Commons, with one lane, that being the turn lane, so over on the far side, closed, and traffic will continue in the other lanes. The parade time will be from noon until about 1:30. The plan is approximately 200, well, the woman didn't really know, maximum 400 people to walk in the turn lane with children, music, dancing, and a small chariot while traffic continues on Fisher Avenue. So you can tell I'm not happy about that. The Ishkan organization will arrange for Montgomery County Police for traffic control. I propose the idea to have the parade on Wayland Commons walking path instead of walking on Fisher Avenue alongside traffic for safety reasons. And nevertheless, the Parks Board voted to approve the event permit request, including hundreds of people walking in the road on Fisher Avenue with children, music and dancing while traffic continues. I voted no for safety reasons. Everyone else voted yes. Still not happy about that, but.
Gotcha. Totally registered.
Yeah, totally registered. Thanks. So follow up. I'm sorry, John, you had?
well, I mean, the short answer is that
Thanks, Niles.
they complied with all of the permit requirements that are required for this. So they have to contact the police, they have to advertise it, which they are in the process of doing it now, and all of those type of things. So it met the requirements to have a parade on Fisher Avenue.
Thanks, Niles.
Can I ask what the name of the group is again?
It's ISKCON, and it stands for International Society of Krishna Consciousness.
Okay, and so I guess for First Amendment reasons, anybody can have a parade, like the Ku Klux Klan or?
So technically speaking, I mean, the permit is about closing the road, it's about having the police, it's all those requirements. But as we discussed before, you know, people could demonstrate or do whatever they'd like on the street within reason of safety, without a permit.
Yeah.
You know, this process allows for it to be, having gone through the permit process, having to provide at their own expense police and things like that.
But we're not like, there's no like liability reason for, like, you know, if some hate group wanted to do it, they could say, well, they could point to this and say, well, you allowed them to do it, so why can't we get a permit and march up the street?
The potential is there, sure.
But
There's not much we can do about that.
Right, exactly.
Okay, just checking. Thank you.
I voted no for safety reasons, but all Martin brings up a good point as well. I think it's a very bad idea to have people walking in the road with traffic. Okay, so I guess I already shared those what's it called, rotten eggs or spoiled beans or something, several times.
You've got 7 references to your opposition too, so I'm keeping track.
I do, okay, thank you. Anyway, second new topic here, follow up on the sidewalk priority list. A handicap ramp was added to the island at the intersection of Hughes and Tom Fox, so thank you, Preston. A temporary wooden ramp was added at the Wooton West Willard entrance to the high school, and John Strog noted that the sidewalk repairs were done in Tama 2. Report from Preston King, Director of Parks and Streets. Preston's team has been putting 250 water bags around trees because of the dry weather. The pickleball courts at Stevens Park were resurfaced and repainted. They will be operational by mid-August. School starts in 2 weeks. Preston team will be painting crosswalks and making sure that line of sight issues and making sure that visibility of stop signs are clear. Preston's team poured the concrete footer and is installing a flashing crosswalk sign and zebra striped crosswalk at Spurrier to facilitate the safe crossing at West Willard for the students coming from Stony Springs neighborhood.
That's up and running now, right?
Maybe, yeah, because this was already August the 7th.
Excellent.
The water tower repainting is complete. The movement of the antennas is ongoing and will be completed soon. The new electric sign looks great. Preston's team will install the stone and brick on the structure. Preston's team has hired 1 new full-time person that will start in August. The next Parks Board meeting is on September the 4th, 2024. Couple of announcements. Of course, the Poolesville Day is coming up on the 21st of September, and there is a 5K race sponsored by I thought I saw Tom's truck out front, sponsored by the Poolesville Area Chamber of Commerce. And the Poolesville Seniors Club is also sponsoring a ride for the reserve on September the 15th. So you can check on I think it's the Poolesville Seniors, it's poolesvilleseniors.org website for that. They're also hosting line dancing on August the 23rd, so that's coming up pretty quick. You can also register on their website for that. And for those folks who are not line dancing inclined, there's also a book club coming up on August the 27th at noon. And so you can register on the poolesvilleseniors.org website for that as well. I think that's everything. Thank you.
Great. Anybody have any questions for Jeff? Nothing about line dancing? Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate that. Across the board.
Thank you.
Martin, do you want to go ahead and give us a planning commission?
Yeah, so the planning commission met last week. I was not present, but I've listened to the meeting. And the recap of that meeting is there was new business. The Jim Clifford and the Willard contingency were asking for an amendment to the PIA for the Willard project. Basically, the way the PIA is written now, the homes need to be 2,000 square feet or less. If you recall, they were originally like 1,200 or 1,100, and they're kind of creeping up. And it's almost as if they came in wanting us to basically just say, do your best and take the guardrails off on size for us. And the planning commission pushed back a little bit. And no decisions were made. They're going to come in, I guess, again, and either with a revised plan or maybe like a way to figure out how to keep them under 2,000 or under. So we'll see what happens there. And then there was a follow-up discussion. I think it's been the 3rd discussion on the. If you recall, we're going through and looking at all the zoning, and right now we're working on the what we're calling the cultural arts district, and. The commissioners discussed the research provided and instructed staff to develop design guidelines for signage in a new cultural arts district and other specific changes to the town's code. At the next meeting, staff will provide research on parking requirements for the commissioners' discussion. So that's kind of moving along slowly, but I think appropriately. It's a big decision, and there's a lot that goes into it. So, and I guess after that, we'll tackle the next zoning issue.
Yeah, I think there's some more stuff to be worked out with some of the definitions, and then how some of the whole thing will come together. We discussed also form-based zoning and various things that are connected to making it a cohesive look and feel to that part of town.
Yeah, and I just want to give a shout out to Wade and Niles and Lexi, especially, and the Planning Commission. I think they did a good job of handling, the sort of curveball that the Willards came in with, and, I think that we will figure it out and figure out the best way forward, but they did a great job.
If I may add to Martin's report, as a resident, I was here for the planning commission meeting, and I was very impressed by Lexi, and you were on the TV, yeah, there was definitely some surprises on people's faces, but they were very professional and gave a very nice metered response to the request. Now, I don't think it was a positive yes. It certainly wasn't a positive yes. There certainly wasn't a positive no, so there was more to come. Thank you, Martin.
Yep.
Great. Okay, Martin, thank you for that. Appreciate that update. Sarah, you want to take us through
Sure.
the report you're going to give?
Yep. Okay, Fair Access Committee. We are in full-on high gear getting ready for the Poolesville Day Breakfast, and we've had lots of positive RSVPs from our local politicians and community leaders. We are still reaching out to some of our more local community leaders and representatives, so that we have a nice, good mix of state, community, and local folks present. As part of that, we are working on a letter to the executive office that will propose our sort of budgetary goals for this next coming year. And I'll make sure that once we've finished editing it, that we then circulate that to all the other commissioners as well. But essentially, it just highlights our continued expectation for finishing existing projects like the high school, the gym, as well as continuing to do what we can to expedite the process of the community center. The budget was approved, but it's a long process still ahead, so we want to continue to push for those. And then we are also pulling in the pool bubble, year-round pool bubble, and the Performing Arts Center, Riverworks Performing Arts Center, and funding for that, and a program budget that would be a line item budget for the services that WUMCO is providing in the healthcare sector. And then we kind of highlighted something that's a little bit new, but a need for study on more of the tourism business in the Ag Reserve, so that we can help support growth in a responsible way in the Ag Reserve, so that we're not at odds with what I think is everyone's goal for the Ag Reserve to begin with. So, and then we kind of posed some additional things that maybe could be looked at on the side based on our listening meeting that we had with residents. So we just brought in summer meal programs, counseling and mentoring programs, support for families, resolving conflict, rec space, like what are some rec programming that could start now as a bridging opportunity until the rec center is built, and transportation for our seniors. So we'll make some final edits on that and get that circulated to all the commissioners, and then we'll send that to the executive office, and that will be sort of that's our big ask at Poolesville Day Breakfast when folks come. That's it.
Cool. Good. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Ed?
Sure, I think Sarah covered everything for fair access. Definitely want to just give acknowledgement to some of our community members who worked with WAMCO to do lunches for families in need on this side of Montgomery County. And so that was a great project that they did during the summer. And then in terms of the Sustainable Poolesville, one of our members is stepping down, and so we have an opening. You might have saw that on the alerts. So we'll have an opening for Sustainable Poolesville. I definitely want to give Danny Embry, he's the one that's stepping down. Definitely want to give him credit and acknowledgement for his contributions with Sustainable Poolesville. Then we meet this week, and so at our next commissioners meeting, I'll give you an update. One of the things that we have been talking about is the zero waste box. And so once we look at how we would want to organize the information and share that with commissioners, then Don the committee will discuss it, put something together, and then Don or myself will come and share it. So that's it.
Cool. So you guys are looking for two people, right? Sustainable Poolesville, 2 people?
That's what Don expressed in his email to me, so it'd be 2.
Got
Because
it.
Joyce is also stepping.
Yeah, Joyce has stepped down.
Oh, wow.
Wow, what is she going to do?
Pursue other interests.
Okay.
But she'll be around to assist as needed.
All right, thank you.
openings.
You don't have to tell me anymore, that's fine. She's been a big contributor, obviously,
Yes.
so she's awesome. Okay, guys, so I sent out an email and plus did a Facebook post, talked about all the stuff that I was kind of interested in talking about, presenting about the meeting today. As I put an email to all the commissioners as well as what was posted out there, we're going to get a lot of good information from town staff tonight about our wells, about PFAS, about the work that they've got going on infrastructure-wise across the town. Again, we said we're going to be making a visit out to the Great Mills Pool. It's going to be a big field trip for everybody that wants to go. So we'll get to see what a pool bubble looks like in action. Actually had a nice comment from somebody on Facebook that I saw that came in that was before I really haven't even had a chance to, I pressed the send button, somebody already had a comment, so that was quick, about making sure that the pool is going to be well used and that, that it's something that we've done a lot of research on, et cetera. And I appreciate the cautionary advice from the residents. So the more feedback that we get on everything, the better, obviously. John, so you're here, and do you want to talk about the art trail or anything that you have that's going on in terms of the Canal Town update? You come on up and sit down. Get the microphone so it can pick you up. Sorry. Thank you. I mean, it probably can pick up your voice all the way from over there, but
Yeah, sorry.
torture.
Sun is vicious tonight.
Yeah, you're good.
See the Gremlins movie, Bright Light, Bright Light?
Bright light. Yeah, there you go. There's no good angle there.
John Wolves, 17009 Hillard Street. Just stand at the door. Thank you. So
There you go.
There's not too much to say yet. The Canal Towns Partnership Group, they want to have a art trail on October 5th, Saturday. And they're going to be advertising. You can go to different canal towns, including Poolesville. And I've been working with Sandy Wright on this.
It should be great, and I know we're all going to promote the heck out of it, so it's good stuff.
And Sandy's organizing. She's going to get a band to play, I think from 12 to 2 at the Riverworks.
We should get, is it Sinclair? That's his first name?
Sinclair.
We should get Sinclair Hamilton's band to play. I'm going to talk to her about that, because they're good.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, maybe he's probably going to be busy that day. But nothing else, update force-wise, canal activities, park service?
Well,
You're here.
It's got a response back to my list of questions from May 6th. They sent it like a couple weeks ago to all my items, and most of it is like they're just pushing it down the road, like the White's Ferry campground. They say they're just in the beginning phases of that. So, I mean, it's to me, it's just another study that they did that's been put on the shelf. The White's Ferry Sportsman's Club's been closed since April 1st, 2022. And the cabins are still standing. So it's like, unless there's other pushback besides me, it may never happen, campground. And in the meantime, at Great Falls, the park is working on a Great Falls concept plan to upgrade the Great Falls area. So are they going to jump ahead of the White's Ferry concept plan?
Or is it just going to be more concept plans created with no end result?
Bless you.
Yeah,
Because it comes down to federal funding.
right. And try to get your place in line. Yeah. John, okay, we'll talk offline a little bit about that more, to see if there's something more we can do. Appreciate the update, Tom. Nice job over there on the window.
Thank you.
Good move. Last but not least, on September 5th, I'm going to be with the Poolesville seniors. Last time we did this, I had a pretty packed house of people, and they had questions.
I'm gonna come watch.
Yeah, they had a lot of questions. It was good. So, and John asked several of them. So I'll be there on September 5th. You can buy your tickets through the Poolesville Seniors page. So make sure you get yourself on. It might be standing room only. Anyway, so thank you for that. Thanks, everybody, for your reports. It's good to see everybody again this month. Appreciate it. We'll talk about our schedule coming up for the next couple months after this, too. So public comment time. Got Jerry. Anybody else? Is anybody signed in? That's okay. No, it's fine. We're good. We're here. So, and then Lillian, did you want to? Were you going to say something too? Did you want to testify?
Well, I was going to say something to the other person that was talking about doing that,
Okay.
but he's not here, so.
Okay, that's fine. I understand. You're here just in support. Then I like the red, white, and blue. You got it. All right, Jerry, come on up and do your thing, buddy.
Thank you. I'm actually Jerry Klobakowski. Oh, yeah, actually, I've always been, but Jerry Klobakowski, 17300 Poolesville, Maryland. And I just thought, I wanted to come here and just let you guys know I'm still around. That
You're wondering.
to harass you guys and not to let you think you can get complacent in your jobs. No, but my questions are, in looking at the closeout, is the highway revenue and the revenue sharing that is down in the budget for like the revenue sharing, the 24 FY24 budget said 596,057, and we got 16 grand less. We got 570,761, and then with the highway user revenue, it said we're going to get 371,637, and we actually got 364,311, which is a difference of 7,000. And then the following years, we're estimating larger sums in both those accounts. And the question is there any hope we're really going to get them, or are we really overestimating what the potential that we could receive would be? Now, I spoke with Niles earlier this evening, and I had forgotten that the highway revenue, the tax duplication money from the county was just started, that they really started to give us what they really owe us, and that it's being phased in. So I guess my question is that 570, 761 in revenue sharing from the county, the tax duplication, are we actually going to get that this year? Is that?
We don't know that. So what we do, we get a notification from the state and the county on both of those categories of what they anticipate that it's going to be. So it's the county and the state's estimates of what we're going to get. Typically, they're right on the button.
Okay.
Both did come a little under this year.
Because I mean, that short says 23 grand, and 23 grand is 23 grand. And so anyways, and I heard about.
May I jump in for a
Go
second?
ahead. No.
And I know, so I want to actually give you credit, because I know that you were involved, very, very deeply involved with the Maryland Municipal League and working on the highway user fees that Poolesville was not getting, like, really at all for decades and decades. And I know that.
Well, it was a tax duplication more so than the highway user revenue.
Okay, but I do know that in terms of the, the MML, you were one of the persons who was really pushing on the state level to, and not only on the state level, but on the county level, to get that back where it was actually promised to be, and was never really held true. But, so thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. The only reason I raised these two issues, especially the tax duplication, I was just wondering if the county was sort of backpedaling on what they really wanted to give us. So anyways, but the other thing is, wasn't at the planning commission meeting, but I heard about it, and it's like, we've run into this problem before, where developers sign up for one thing, and then they come in and there's this incremental creep. My point is, if you sign up for something, then you damn better stick to what you signed up for. Because if you entered into an agreement, or you proposed something that everybody was planning on, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, gee, we want to do this and we want to do that. No. I have a problem with that. I think we ran into it with the last time with the developers that they had previously, and now here. And we've run into it in other places as well throughout the town in the past. So I would just say I appreciate the planning commission for having backbone to tell them, you know what, you signed up for this, then this is what it's gonna be, and if you had a problem with that, you should have never signed up. That or else, you're not gonna get as many homes, period. So anyways, that's my 2 cents.
Could I just jump in for 1 second? I'm not in the planning commission, so I don't mean to speak out of order. But as a resident, I attended the planning commission, and the gentleman, Mr. Tim Hartman from Mid-Atlantic Builders, and I don't know, had the planning commission had already met this gentleman?
No, that was the first time we've seen him, I believe.
Correct, and they were just signed on in the last couple of months.
So
by-
the
by
Willards
Jim.
had only engaged with them more recently?
Yeah,
Correct.
they've been looking for a developer for or a builder for a long time, and they've just recently, I think,
Yep, within the last 2 or 3 months
Yeah.
is when this deal with this developer coalesced. It's still in the feasibility stage between the two parties.
Yeah, well, I don't know, maybe just the fact that it's more of a recent relationship between the property owner and the builder, that they really hadn't been, totally informed. I don't know, I'm just guessing.
I find that hard to believe that a builder who's willing to commit to a project would have not done his due diligence to understand before he agrees to partner with somebody about a
Yeah, no,
development.
yeah,
It-
you're right.
To me, I just find that odd.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, lady and gentlemen. Appreciate it. Have a good evening.
Yes, sir.
All right, you too.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jerry. Anybody else? Nobody? Nobody online clamoring to come in?
No.
Don't, that's
Actually,
it
I
with a
really
laugh.
came up here to recharge my computer.
I saw that. Right. Park in the electric spot, leave it overnight. I got it. We've run into that.
Plug, yeah.
Okay, you guys, thanks a lot. That concludes public comment. So, July 15th, 2024, a month ago, we had a meeting, and I'm trying to recall who was here that can vote on that. Anybody? Do we recall? I know I was.
Yeah, I think it was this half of the.
Oh, yeah, it was just us three, right?
It was,
All right, I motion that we.
Super quick meeting. Go ahead, second.
Yeah. So you want to say?
Yeah, second, because I was the other person here.
Thank you. Motion made by Ed to approval of the minutes, second by Sarah. Any other questions about the minutes from any of the members? You can still talk about it, even though you can't.
Just can't vote.
Yeah. No? All in favor of approving the minutes from July 15th, 2024, please say aye. Aye. Abstain? Abstain?
I wasn't here, yeah.
Not there, not there. Minutes are approved 3-0. Thank you for that, everybody. New business, appointments to the Board of Elections. Go ahead and give it to us, guys.
Sure, it's that time of year again where the election, or every 2 years, where the election board's getting together, so we need to reappoint. Members are appointed for 2-year terms. So we have
2 openings,
Two openings,
but we had
four-
four applicants.
4 applicants. So we're going to reappoint the original 6 from last year.
Correct, from last time.
And I gave you guys that list, and then there's, like he said, there's 4 applicants for 2 positions.
So everybody wanted to be reappointed that's coming back. We take it, right? Okay, and then we need 2 more members, and we have 4 applicants for it. And town staff, did you have a recommendation?
Yes, 2 of them were, Tom Kettler was on the election board for several years before. He was the chairman of it. He's a great asset to the team, and so, he knows how it works and what we need to do, so I would definitely recommend him. And then also Barrett Smith, he's looking to volunteer on several different venues at different times, and so he's a great one. Nancy Kidd also was one of them, but she's on the Fair Access Committee. And, so that would be the 2, would be Barrett Smith and,
you recall, we interviewed Barrett for something here, and he was good.
was,
Yeah. Yep. Nope, okay, very good. Thank you for that, staff. You guys, so we have in front of us that we need to make 2 appointees. Town staff's made recommendations. Do we have any further thoughts or consideration? Someone will need to make a motion for the people that need to be appointed.
I make a
And we can
motion-
discuss it.
Well, does anybody have a discussion?
No, I feel like these are both people that we know, we've worked
Okay,
with.
I'll make the motion. It's Barrett Smith and Nancy who?
No.
Tom Kettler.
Sorry, Tom Kettler. I make a motion, we approve Barrett Smith and Tom Kettler to the Board of Elections.
Sure, I'll second your motion.
Motion's been made by Martin, second by Ed. Any other questions or discussions on those appointments? We okay there, guys?
with that part, we need a part 2 of reappointments.
Right.
Understood, right,
okay.
yep. And we don't have to go in a particular order on that, do we?
No.
No. Okay, so we've got a motion on the floor and a second to appoint Tom Kettler and Barrett Smith to the Board of Elections. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No one? Okay, those appointments have been made. So who are the be reappointment names again for us?
So, yeah, I have it right here. So Jocelyn Harris, Laura Dunlop, excuse me, Catherine Hall, William McDonald, Chuck Stump, and Joan Olmsted.
And you guys recommend all them, like they've done good in the past?
They were good last year.
So I make a motion, we approve the names as Niles said them for reappointment to the Board of Elections?
May I ask a quick question? Is there any, I don't know what the right word is, but is there any reason why, because Chuck is already on the planning commission, can this person be on too?
Yes, they can.
Okay, swell.
They just can't hold an elected off.
Correct, you can't have an
Correct.
elected official on it.
Okay, swell, thank you.
Motion made by Martin. Do we have a second?
So I second what Martin said, yes.
Second from
Jeff.
Jeff on this one. Motion made by Martin, second by Jeff. Names have been named off by Niles. All those in approval of reappointing those members, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Nobody? Okay, great. Thank you for that. Staff, appreciate it. Look forward to another great election. Tom?
Happy to be back.
Glad to have you back. You had to be a resident, you know. You had to be a resident.
Oh, he is, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they brought me back.
That's why you moved back. To see Jocelyn Harris on election day, my favorite. So, that's awesome. All right, very good. Thanks, guys. You're waiting on me, I get it. FY 2024 closeout, just give me the look. FY 2024 closeout, staff, give it to us.
Okay, this is a snapshot of June 30th of this year. We closed out the FY '24 budget. So we'll just do a quick overview here. Really, it's a $5.3 million budget. We really came in good with, as far as revenue. We'll get into the details here in a minute. But the general fund itself just takes care of all CIP projects, regular operations of the town, and any grants that need to go to water and wastewater fund.
Was the water tower included in that CIP project?
It is.
Okay. And
Yep,
that's
and we'll get to that detail.
now that's really finished and over with?
Almost.
Yeah.
The letters are too big.
Hey,
But we'll get to that. Keep it going.
trying to make me cry, man. Don't make me cry.
Okay, the water and sewer fund, which operates like an enterprise fund, is separate, except of the capital aspect of it. And we operated just over $2 million, and it did have a deficit of about almost $78,000 this year. We can talk about those details once we get to it. Overall, the budget closed out with a positive balance of
Can I ask a quick
$90,000.
question about the wastewater treatment?
Sure.
And the words are kind of small for me to see, but did you say there was a deficit?
There is, yes.
So traditionally, Jeff, we've run a deficit because it really comes down to how much water do we sell over the course of the year? And he'll get into the details.
We'll
of
tell you,
why.
the expenditures were up on a couple of accounts, and we'll talk about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I thought we had a conversation quite some time ago that, I don't know what the right word is, but the budget was not going to, I forget what the right word is.
We're going to subsidize it?
Subsidize, thanks,
Yeah.
Mark, subsidize.
Oh, well, it has to. The general fund
Otherwise,
has to
our water rates
subsidize the
would be
water and sewer.
astronomical?
Yeah, yes.
Otherwise, our water rates would be too high?
No, you can increase your water rates to cover the deficit.
Well, that's what I said, yeah. So the water,
You can't do that after the fact.
So we've been
We've been
past
slowly increasing them.
increasing the water rates to make sure that we do it to close the gap on the deficit
Right.
with an attempt to completely close it out.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily, then you go through the course of the year and see how you actually did.
Right.
And that's what we're doing right now. So, you keep this in mind for next year's
I know I
budget.
could certainly understand because the PFAS kind of jumped up on us and we had to spend money quickly.
Yeah, but, an ironic thing is, if you have a lot of rain, it increases the amount of the sewage pumped,
Sure.
and people aren't watering outside, so you have less money and more cost.
Yeah.
I mean, some simple things like that happen.
Yeah.
Well, we like rain, though.
We don't like deficits, but those other factors. But again, it said you're also talking about wear and tear on all of our equipment that
Right.
causes everything to age quickly, et cetera.
Okay,
Go ahead,
thank you,
guys.
So we just got a breakdown of the general revenue income. And, we talked about it last year, the income tax has really increased above property tax, where, several years ago, property tax was our largest income source. And that's kind of a telltale about your community and the type of affluent type community we have with,
So is this a good overall segmentation?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. So that's just for fun to look at and see how it's broken down. Now we really look
Hang on
at
a
it.
second. John Wools has a question. Go ahead, John.
Earlier slide, talking about the revenues for the general fund, you mentioned had grants in there. Where's the grant that's in this pie chart?
That would, the grant that it comes out of the general fund and goes to the water and sewer fund.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
I agree with John. I think the word grant is maybe a little bit misleading.
It could be a subsidy, it could be grant, I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, subsidy, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we take a look at the general income. You can see that we actually had 139,000 more than we projected as far as revenue goes. And two of the things that came in were interest income was up, and we had a healthcare reimbursement. So, several years ago, we joined the legit pool for a healthcare. Although healthcare costs went up, if you, into the year, if your pool doesn't really exceed what it's projected to expend, then you get a reimbursement, and we received a reimbursement. So that was very positive.
It's good.
Just to refresh my memory, what did the town employees have as their health insurance before we joined Legit?
It was Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Okay.
Yep. And then I also put a note on the bottom there because the lack of development over the last 2 years, we've only bought on a couple of houses. The income tax and property tax was very stagnant as far as the last 2 years goes. Usually we can see a nice jump each year of that. And so that's something we'll talk about as we get into the budget cycle going into February and March, how to address that.
Just a curiosity, when we had the Blue Cross Blue Shield, was that more expensive than local government insurance trust versus the coverage?
It's been very close. I said 2 years ago, it cost us more money because we didn't get a reimbursement, but then we got a reimbursement this year. So it's up and down. It depends on the expenditures in your own pool.
But is the coverage even Steven for that?
It is, yeah, it is good coverage, yes.
Okay,
yes.
thanks.
We're pooled with other municipalities our size to get the benefit
Oh,
of
the
a
cost
larger
of-
group. Yep. So on the expenditure side, we actually came $106,000 under budget. Many accounts were up a little, down a little, but really the biggest savings came from our LED streetlights that we installed, which was paid for by a grant from the state. We finally, it took us almost a year to get Potomac Edison. We had to recategorize all the lights and just do a bunch of things, but finally came through, and so that's where our savings really came.
Nice.
Good job,
That's a
guys.
beautiful thing.
Nice to see that play
Good job.
out.
Yes. Okay, we'll jump to the water and sewer revenue side. We actually made more money this year as far as water and sewer goes, and again, 175,000 more. A little bit in the user funds, but a biggest part of it, we have a lot of money in interest income for upcoming projects that we're doing. So we made more money on the interest income. And then the healthcare reimbursement, again, were the two big categories that helped us get, raise the actual revenues. We talk about the expenditures, so we were $108,000 over budget. And the two categories there were electricity, mainly at the wastewater plant and pump stations. And there's a lot of construction activity going on at the wastewater plant for all the construction activity, so we're counting into that. And then sludge hauling again. The costs are just going up for the trucking, you gotta haul it out of state. We're always looking for solutions of how to improve that, but it was definitely over. And there's not much you could do about it. It's controlled, it's regulated by the states. You have to take it to Pennsylvania. So it's a very difficult, it's really a challenging thing to figure out what to do with it. And a lot of places are. Blue Plains is building a great big giant incinerator for their sludge because it's becoming so expensive, but we can't.
Well, I have a question about that because there's been, did I interrupt you, Ed? It's been a while since I took a tour through the wastewater treatment plant, and it appeared to me that a number of the areas there really needed some, I don't know, just some remodeling or some improvements. Was that already complete? I haven't been in a tour in there for for some months now, so.
What's being built right now is mainly a brand-new buildings and brand-new, for the denitrification, filtration units that are gonna go in, a methane building, equalization basins. So really, it doesn't freshen up the offices or anything, if that's what you were alluding to.
Well, I guess that's part of what I was asking, because when I went through there, it looked like it really needed some attention.
It's kind of a functioning, it is poop, by the way. It's not the
No, but there are
cleanest,
people that work in there, and they deserve a nice spot.
They do have a maintenance budget too, that they can replace the ceiling tiles and do different things. We put a new roof on it last year, which was a couple $100,000. So it's ever evolving and always being, refurbished and worked on continuously.
And the denitrification plant, that's just for what it sounds like, right? That's not an office building, that's a,
It
No.
treats the water, yeah.
yeah.
yes, okay.
Go in there, go take a look at it. It's pretty interesting.
I haven't seen
You'll be impressed. Wait, I have a question for you, one slide back, if you don't mind. Why is the healthcare reimbursement attributed to the water and wastewater line item?
Just as a salary item. So if we go to the expense side of there's a salary and there's the
Part of the,
benefits.
like,
that come out
benefits
both
of the
categories,
people who
so
work in the
Goes right back
wastewater.
to it proportionally.
But is that healthcare reimbursement not, it is,
It's divided in half. So
Almost
okay.
in half.
Yeah, almost in half. But basically, we took the health reimbursement, the total check, divided it, gave part of it to the water and sewer fund,
Okay.
and part of it to,
Proportionally how it comes out of the budget as
Yes.
far as an
right?
expense.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Okay, good, thank you.
Okay, so there's the operations there. Then here's a breakdown, I always like to show between water and sewer. You can see the sewer certainly is more expensive than the water system itself is, by several $100,000. So it's just a little fun chart again. Stop me if you have any questions, please. Exciting stuff.
No, I didn't have dinner, and those look like pizzas to me, so keep moving.
Okay, so what's up with the CIP? This is where, the bulk of our money comes in at. For office equipment and stuff, the biggest things we had was audiovisual equipment, so we had to pay the second part of, because there was overlapped in 2 fiscal years for the audiovisual system here. And then we did some website stuff. Replaced the town hall HVACs, which, this was built in 2008. It's surprising that we're already having to do that, but we certainly did have to. Another grant, so keep moving through them. Regular cups, 17,000 for different Parks and Streets equipment. Had one truck we purchased this year. It was a replacement. And then in town projects, of course, electronic sign out front, a couple crosswalk signs that we put in. GIS systems just getting underway right now. Not much going on there.
Is the GIS just still going specifically through Clark Azar, I take it?
it's, Wallace Montgomery is doing the actual work on the GIS system itself.
Okay,
But Clark, Azar, and myself have been the ones overseeing that work, so that it's all uploading all of our streetlights, all of our valves, all of our hydrants, all of that stuff. That's the work, the nitty gritty of the actual.
So the guys are using it now.
Facilities.
They have a regular tablet. They're in the field and they're
Right.
locating all the valves. They did the hydrants already. Streetlights
Yeah.
are being done, so.
okay, thank you.
Parks and Streets, quite a bit of funding here spent this year. How much restroom we replaced that, and there was an $80,000 grant that went along with that. Top mulch, that was replacing all that rubber mulch we got out of there pretty quickly. And then the Dillingham Park, it took a long time to get that equipment in there, but insurance did pay for the largest portion of that for the fire.
$100,000,
Yep.
$100,000 fire.
Oh, that was the damage caused by the fire, yeah.
And then skate park expansion, that's just for the plans we had to do for submissions for the county for the stormwater, and then Hamels Park basketball replaced those.
So that number doesn't include the climbing wall?
The bouldering you're talking?
Well, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
No, we put in grant applications for that.
Okay.
And we have money saved up and set aside, and that'll be in the CIP accumulation that we'll get to towards the end.
Thank you.
This is just expenditures, what we actually spent.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And then we had our paving, which was really almost 2 years ago, but we did get the bills until this fiscal year.
John Woltz? John?
What were the upgrades to the basketball court combos?
We replaced the basketball poles and nets,
And backboards,
backboards,
Yeah.
everything.
at Hamos.
I've seen those, but they cost that much. What do you think?
To have a company come out,
Yeah.
cement them in, and dig the other ones out, it certainly does.
Now, and they've held up, right? So far, so good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, they're nice. And you-
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But you're just,
I hope they're 10 feet high, not like the last ones, like 9 feet 10.
no comments on that. I hear you. I think they are 10 feet.
Does that number include the purchase of the pickleball nets?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say,
And that was about 30 years ago.
right.
No, I was just curious, is that, because I know that there were purchase of pickleball nets that you could move around.
So that'll be in this fiscal year.
We just did it, so it
just
was
finished
after
it?
July 1, so it will be in
Oh,
this budget.
Okay, thank
Sort
you.
of snapshot of.
As,
Yep.
including the repaving of the pickleball. So all of that will be in this fiscal year.
With extra lines and all sort of confusion.
Lines are in place.
Yep.
Tom
They're
Keller's got a
strictly
question. too.
Pickleball now.
I'm throwing back to the 5 minutes. On electricity, I know that with the solar array, is that going directly towards, or is that just the general fund, the electricity that generates, is that how that works?
It does. There's actually, we have 5 virtual meters. It's going to be Town Hall, the wastewater plant, 2 of our largest pump stations, and 1 of our well stations. There's
Is
actually
that-
5 virtual meters it's divided up into.
So in terms of usage versus what's generated, well, obviously it doesn't generate enough because you're at 53,000.
Right. If you have some heavy rain months, you come from a $10,000 a month electric bill, can jump up to, 16 or 17,000 if you have some I&I during the months, especially in the fall and in the early spring.
Is the production of the plant consistent, or is it losing efficiency over time? I was wondering.
No, there's
It's been
no,
there
there's,
for 10.
yes,
Doesn't matter.
there's no noticeable reduction at this point.
So, but is that,
It's the usage, not the generation, it's the usage.
for
So,
you guys, you're right.
right,
But I know- yeah.
as the plant itself increases the amount of electricity it uses, depending on circumstances.
But in terms of the generation from the solar array.
That's consistent.
That is
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah.
It's not, you expect that to drop off with time. so.
They said after about 20 years, you're going to start seeing a decline with how the diodes accept
They said something like that it would be, the worst was like 93% efficiency after their ownership period ends. So,
Second follow-up question, switching gears. On the interest, do you have a general rate of what you guys are getting on interest on the interest income you're getting? I mean, that is CD rates, all this stuff.
we are part of the Montgomery County Investment Fund, so they actually do the investments for us.
What's their average return right now?
Up to date,
I
I'm
have
not
to
sure.
check. I want to say it's like 5 point something.
I was thinking
but
so
will-
too, but that was.
I will double check that and we can get
Yeah,
that for
that's,
you.
yeah, that's reasonable, yeah.
yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
I do have a question, since everybody's backing up and going around. It goes to Jeff's question. Last time I walked through the wastewater treatment plant down below, where a lot of stuff was, it appeared to me sort of storage and stuff was helter-skelter. It needed a fresh paint job, there were certain electrical issues that I'm not gonna get into. Are those all been taken care of?
So we're in the process now of taking out a lot of the stuff in the pipe gallery below. A lot of electrical upgrades have occurred. The whole PLC, the brain of the plant, is going to be replaced probably in September. We've been saving up for the last 7 years to paint the project, but we're not going to paint it until we get all these construction guys out of there. That'll be the last thing to do. The money's it's accumulating for that. Okay. Going to the water and sewer side. So, big $832,000 were spent on the water system in this account here. And, half of it was repainting the water tank itself. There'll still be a few more bills coming in that'll be, fall over into next fiscal year. PFAS, $182,000 this year, and there'll be more to spend on that for sure. Alpha media replacement was another big one, and that's going to happen every 3 years, and that's for wells 9 and 7 for the uranium removal.
Was there any progress on getting a grant for either a state grant or federal grant on the PFAS remediation filters?
Yes, not for the filters yet. So the filters we installed, we won't get reimbursed. Well, I'll talk about that more in the manager's
Okay.
report. But yes, the $700,000 grant we were awarded, and it's a loan, it's a forgivable loan. So we have to pay whatever interest comes out of that, but as well, the principal is forgiven. And that'll be to enclose well 2 and well 3 filtration units.
Thank you.
Yeah, if we waited for the grant monies to put the filters in, we'd be still sitting here waiting.
Yeah, yeah.
And then wells 414, now they're up and ready to go, except they have PFAS, so we can't bring them online. So, once we work that detail out, we get them online. On the wastewater side, and again, big number there, almost 5 million. And a lot of that is the ENR upgrade we're going through, which is all paid through, well, the majority of it's paid through grant monies from the state. And
What does ENR mean?
enhanced nutrient removal.
Well, that's what the denitrification is.
Okay.
It's just another term for it.
Okay, thank you.
And then there's several other categories, we're painting the basins. You see, we're electrical upgrades. We're continuously doing stuff all the time at the wastewater plant. It's a very expensive plant to run. And you can see that we're totally, always investing money in it. All the time.
Is there any future expectation of getting rid of the basin?
Oh, the lagoon?
Yeah, the lagoon.
Possibly. I'd rather have MDE tell us we have to do it and then give us money to do it.
Oh, that's the.
And we could talk
that's
more
the
about
thinking.
that. There's, yes, there's a strategy with it.
Okay. There's method to the madness, yes. Okay.
Okay, let's see. And then, we have this other smaller accounts of different equipment and stuff we replaced in the lab and safety equipment that we use and certainly water meters. But nothing exciting there. Inflow and infiltration. So this is where our American Rescue Funds are going. And we know that we're doing the water line, the Westman water line. You just see part of it getting started there at $234,000. There's a $1.6 million contract, and that's going to spend out the rest of our American Rescue Fund money. And we did a lot of I&I repairs over the last 2 years with that also. So it was put to good use.
The Westlawn water line replacement, how far down is it going to creep down Wooten Avenue? Do we know yet?
We don't. So we're still waiting for the contingencies to come in. They did hit a little bit of rock, which we anticipated, but they have not really billed us for us yet or came up with a quantity. So right now, the contingencies are very low, so that's good. So the lower they are, the more we can go.
Yeah. Nope, I get it. Good.
Is that why they're digging over by,
Coalhouse townhouses.
well, across the street, right?
Yeah, so at the end of it, you're talking about where Wooten and Cohos meet?
No,
Or you're talking about the work on Fisher?
Fisher.
Fisher, that's for 3 houses that are going to be built on Fisher, and they have to connect
Okay,
the
so
sewer
it's
line
nothing
to it.
that's-
Nothing
That's
to
They're
separate.
they're paying for that.
That's all private.
It's all private.
Private developer
Okay.
working in conjunction with the town.
Okay. So restricted funds, which we know they're restricted either by state or federal, whoever's giving the money, or there's policies in place that we set them aside and they're only be used for specific items. And so in that account there, we have almost $2 million, but 1.652 is from American Rescue Funds. And rest of them pretty small. Connection fees, that's one of the larger ones, 413. That's for the, it's a replacement for the impact fee, basically, that we used to have.
So does that mean we have $1.6 million of ARF that's yet to be allocated?
As of June 30th, yes. But we paid some bills since then for the water line.
Okay.
And we only have one debt left, and that's a beautiful thing. We've had 3 a couple of years ago, so we're paying those down, and they are very low interest, 2.1%, and we still owe 1.1 million on that, and that's for that Westerly I&I loan when we redid all the sewer lines over there, which came out really great as far as reducing flows to the pump stations and things. And just looking at a cash balance snapshot for the end of the year, and all this does basically, we talked about the accumulated funds that were in CIP accounts. So, you have $2.3 million in the general fund and then 1.38 million for water and sewer accumulated for capital projects. Even though it's earmarked for other projects, but at the end of the day, $7.3 million we have on hand right now.
And the word impact fees, is that now changed to connection fees? Or vice versa?
Well, as soon as Petrella, because Petrella, on the corner of CVS down there, that will be the last impact fee project that's going to be done.
That's the Donovan property?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you.
So that won't go away just yet, but.
All right.
And then just to finalize it, accountants require us to, or the auditors actually require the commissioners to vote on the budget, the closeout, to approve it. And with this here, it's already been deducted out of that, the final balance that we showed. $50,000 worth of the skate park expansion project, which we just talked about. We have a $200,000 grant from DNR to do it, but Montgomery County is making us put a bioswale in to treat the impervious areas. And so it costs $50,000 for that. And then just the completion of well 4s and 14. We had to come up with some of our own cash for that too.
I can imagine what a bioswale is, but can you tell me what it is?
Sure, it's a hole they dig and they put sand and different medias in it with some plantings. So the first flush, I guess, of all the water that comes off the area goes into that sediment control and it takes out the contaminants before it goes into the storm drain. And
Oh, okay.
So what we used to call a ditch
Yes, yeah.
back in our day.
it's a fancy ditch. There you go.
I'll help you with that, Jeff.
Okay.
Ditch. All right, John,
The stormwater facility.
Stormwater will go into this thing. So where does the water go at?
After it filters down through the media, then it goes into a stormwater pipe and goes into the regular stormwater system. Probably, in this case, Dillingham Park, it's going to flow to Collier Circle Pond.
and the goal is to treat as much of it on site as possible. Tom, do you have something else? Okay, you were going to explain. Got it.
More of it as time goes on.
Thank you, yeah. To a guy that's put in a lot of bioswales. Got it. A lot of ditches, yeah. All right, so good stuff, guys. Is there more?
That is it. So now it's on you guys. Any questions? Further questions?
We have to approve it, like, formally?
Yes.
Okay, so you need a motion?
Well, hang on, let's get the motion for the right thing. So those closeout two components right there, they are just
Already incorporated in.
staff recommendation, no vote needed, right?
It's just shifting money from within accounts.
Yes, because you're going to adopt it with these changes already in it. That is the amendment itself.
By adopting it. You're
by adopting it, we're
As
adopting.
amended.
Gotcha, and that includes the amount of money that we've also said is going to go into unrestricted reserves.
It's all in there, yes.
You only need one motion.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I make a,
I was just going to ask a question. So what is the carryover from 24 to 25? Are these numbers carryover?
Can you put that budget up there?
Yeah, I'll grab it up. Oh, hang on, sorry, I have to do it from here, because it's in the other one.
Oh, I don't know if I can't see that.
I know, I'm gonna, just give me a
I
second
don't
to
think I
get
can see it
us
either.
to the right page, which I want to say,
We can link to it from the agenda, right? It's in
Yeah,
that
it's in there.
second,
Yes, it is. There we go, you've blown it
it's in the first link in the agenda, Jeff, if you want to look at it.
we want to
on
go
Yeah, I
up.
don't have my
The
laptop.
summary.
with me, yeah.
General fund summary, yeah.
Yeah, so let's go up. Then I'm gonna zoom it out a little bit.
Yep, there you go. So you can see right there, the 23 actual carryover balance was 2 million, no, it's down at the bottom, 1.4 million.
Yep, and then this year,
And then we took some money out of it, so now we're at
1.127621, right?
these are unrestricted reserves. That's not earmarked for anything.
So it's, yeah, here, let me zoom that in so you can see it.
And it's less because we took money out of it, because we knew we were over our 17% that we like to maintain.
So, yeah, that's,
yes, yes.
that's the number.
There you go.
Yeah, so what is our required number for?
It's actually going to be
unrestricted
around
reserve?
800,000 right now, because it's
Say that again?
17.5% of the revenue of the budgeted revenue for that fiscal year. So that's around $800,000. So we're.
Oh, we're well
above
over that then?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
all right, I make a motion, we approve the FY 2024 budget closeout as presented.
Motion made by Martin, do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second from Ed. So we've had a good discussion. Is there any other questions on it? I mean, there's always time to ask staff for more questions if you have it. Audience, anybody else? You guys have been contributory. John, go ahead. We'll give it to you in a minute.
On hand as of the end of 2023.
23.
It was like 5 million in some, I can.
Yeah, that's
pull
going to be on
back.
the restricted funds page.
Yeah,
So it looks like our cash on hand increased.
Yeah, but it's not smoke and mirrors, but it's just also too about how we've spent it and when we're spending it. I mean, it's nice to have it.
So it was 8. Here we
eight,
go.
yeah,
There
it
you
was
go.
8, yeah. 8 and then 6, and then
Hey,
you
you
have
can
to
do
add.
Without adding the other
That's fine.
stuff.
Without adding the other stuff?
Yeah, that's fine.
That includes, that 8 million included the grant money for, some of the the.
ENR stuff.
ENR stuff as well.
And we spent down on the, because we had $4 million in the American Rescue Fund, and now that's down to 1.6, so.
Yeah, things like that.
So that's actually 7.3 million, or the 6 point, which shows right there, is around 5 is typically where we would be.
There's not.
No. Anything else, guys?
Just one quick thing. So I think you mentioned that there was going to, later on in the presentation, there was going to be some mention about the water tower, and I didn't see it.
That was the report, you said.
Oh, so the CIP that we talked about, that was in that was part of that 7.3 million, the monies that are in the water and sewer capital that's accumulated, that money's in there for the water tower.
Okay, so that's fiscal year '25.
It will be 25.
Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you.
That's a good question. Okay, good. We have a motion, and then we have a second. All in favor of approving the FY '24 closeout, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Okay, guys, good work, staff. Thank you for that. Martin's got to go now. Appreciate your time, Martin.
Yeah, guys, I gotta run home. I'm single parenting.
Nothing on the old business?
Daddy
That's-
duty.
that's an
Take care of
option?
it.
I'm single parenting. Kidding.
See ya.
Nothing under old business, town managers report?
We'll take a big water line.
Sure. So the first thing is the water line project, which we talked about a little bit more. We are making progress on it. They're going to, as I said on Friday, they're going to start actually connecting directly to the service from the house, basically where the house service ends, our connection to the main in what we call phase one, which is that area closest to Wooton to about halfway down. So they're going to go back and do that. They're still connecting one section they're still replacing one section of the main still in what is called Court 5, but that's sort of where we're at. So right now it's down to the beginning of the end, so to speak, once we get into those connections to each house. And so as we asked John today, we're looking at, again, about an October deadline for that to be completely buttoned up, so.
And paved this year? The paving's only going to be
Paving
patch
will be in
paved,
the
right?
spring.
Are we paving it all in the spring? Is that the cycle for Cohos?
Yeah, because by the time they will be done with it, to cure it and all of that with the asphalt, we would have to do
Yeah,
that.
the asphalts might be closed, so.
Yeah, that's fine, understood.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So you might have seen a job advertisement for a wastewater operator. Unfortunately, Jerome, a young man that worked at the plant for a couple of years, just got his license and got stolen by WSSC. So, good for him. He's got a position closer to home now, so.
How long does it take to kind of complete that process, like getting your license?
Takes at least 2 years. If you have some college, you can put that towards the license.
Okay.
But yeah, you take classes and you have to have so many hours underneath a licensed operator. So it's not easy, and it's a hard test.
Congratulations to him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jeff stole my crosswalk at Spurrier and West Willard. He stole my bricks on the electric sign.
They look really nice.
So just talk about the water tower a little bit. They still have a little bit of painting to do. Some of the diagonal supports, the cellular companies have to pay for that. They were required to beef up the tank a little bit, so they had to paint the diagonals on that still and clean up the site. But they're, pretty much it's done. Tank's full. It's all operational.
Several people have already, I don't know if I want to use the word complain, but there was an air of complaint in their statement that the antennas were right in front of the word Falcons.
They just move a little bit.
Yes. Had a nice squint.
Jim said the same thing, and I gave the same answer.
I don't want to talk about it anymore. We've done the best we can do, and it looks good.
I know.
But you're right, Jeff. John, go ahead.
I've never seen a falcon in the Poolesville area, but I hear there's a bear's been seen.
Did you want to put that on there?
So there's a bear in the
We have the bear out there, we have
bear in the
that.
hallway, yeah. A statue, yeah.
That has been something else. That's been it's great. Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay.
Thanks for posting, Niles, in terms of about how to deal with the bear.
Of course.
We had
yes, yes.
a lot of people ask questions.
So on the, back to the site there, So the contractor is going to come in there for the well 2 PFAS remediation program. So he's going to be pouring the concrete slab to go down in there this week. It's going to cure for a couple of weeks. And then we've set up for the contractor to truck in the filtration units I think it's the second or third week in September, get that in here and try to get that online hopefully by September. We have some testing protocols we have to go through with MDE and sampling. So we're hoping by the end of the year just to get it up and running. Really, our goal is to make sure it's running in springtime. But we need to get it up and set and do the testing and get it all set for next year. So at least it's happening. That's good.
Just a question, because I remember the medium was, at one point, it was activated charcoal, then you switched over to, was it corn? I don't remember exactly what
No,
it was.
we actually did a pilot test with Cyclopure, it's called, which is a corn-based product. And Kathy Mim, she did all the analysis on it and stuff, and she really didn't feel comfortable with the product itself. And there was a backwashing component to it that's going to be required. And our wells don't really have a septic or a sewer, system, to transport any backwashing off. Plus, you lose a lot of water with the backwash. So right now, the granular activated carbon is our best bet.
Okay, thank you.
And Wade, are you still looking into building some bringing the well into centralized locations?
Yes.
to do the-
Yep, so I have the engineers working on it right now. I told John that I would like to have a presentation for you guys either in October or November to wrap our heads around this whole thing, what it's going to cost, get it in the budget in
Okay, so
January.
This is still like a year or two out.
Yes, we have till 29 to come up with a plan. And
Okay,
really, we have to come up with a plan so I can start to plan for more grant monies,
got it.
because we definitely want to get this funded as much as possible, because it's going to be very expensive. And then also with the PFAS, we're working with the attorneys doing the lawsuits. And we know that, the claims have been filed, and we probably won't receive revenue from them until about 25, then it's split up over a couple of years to receive the money to trickle in. But they are allowing us right now to just put together exact costs what we've used to date. And so we've itemized everything out and sent that to them, which was $268,000. We don't know how much of that or percentage of that we're going to get out of those, but we still admitted everything, so cross our fingers to see what we get.
I mean, it's to everybody's benefit to reflect the real cost of this, because I'm sure they're going to calculate how much money they're giving folks
Yes,
based on
yeah, and we're small
what the
beans.
real costs are.
I know we mentioned this before, but there was a notion, and I think it's a good notion, that maybe yourself or Niles make a presentation about what Poolesville did at the upcoming MML meeting, as they just have some expectation that maybe some municipalities don't know where to go, or don't know how to start, or don't know what to do. And I think, your experience, you were way out in front of it. It might be, very valuable for them to connect with you guys and kind of learn from what Poolesville did.
Yeah, John's putting together, him and Kathy and Mem right now, and we're having input to it also. They're doing a conference, it's an engineering conference in Ocean City this fall. And so, we're going to be part of that.
Oh, that's perfect.
And
Good for you.
And Kathy Mim has also done presentations herself to other hydrologists and such, using Poolesville as an example.
super.
So
Excellent.
we
So
are,
we're out there.
we're working with the various experts on it.
Yeah, the
Got our PR
municipalities are going to
experts
get the
out there.
expertise at the engineering level.
Make sure Poolesville's on the map.
Yeah, that's what we need.
It'll filter up.
That's all I have. Any questions?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, thank you for your
Happy
work.
to be their poster child.
That's it? You guys, anything on your end? Audience out there, more
Oh, yeah,
questions?
one small thing is, we heard back from the state regarding a cybersecurity grant that I put in the application for. They have approved us to be one of their recipients of the grant, but that grant has to be approved by FEMA. So, right now, we're waiting for the federal government to say yes, to them to say yes, so.
And
But
then do
we've,
they come in and
They come
conduct
in, yeah,
the
so we
cybersecurity?
yeah, so it's a shared service officer, basically, so they're gonna come in and look at all of the communities that have applied, and then they're gonna work, so we'll be assigned someone, and then they will work with us to meet the state's requirements for cybersecurity. So there's various different standards that they have to meet, and so this whole program will allow us to apply for a separate grant to implement those changes. So it's all setting up so that the state, so that all municipalities can be in compliance with the state.
Well, and just one last thing. So one thing that Niles said triggered my mind, and I think it's more of a question for Jim. And I know Senator Trone is retiring. And he was kind of our...
He was retired. Yeah.
Yeah, he lost elections, so anyway.
Yep.
But he was our champion in terms of streetscape money.
Yes.
So the fact that he's not going to be there, is any of our streetscape money in jeopardy?
Well, we hope not. So I've written our guys, so, you know, it's not a slam dunk, that's for sure. It should be a slam dunk, but it's not. And so I've written both Congressman Trone and his chief of staff to talk about, you know, when do we cut through the red tape, and are we in danger of something taking place after, you know, the change of office? So, I mean, that's a big deal for us, so we can't lose it. So, yeah, good question. Well, let's hope not.
We do have both candidates running for that office at our breakfast. So you
Yeah.
can talk to them about it when they're there.
Ah, very good, yeah.
Both
Yeah, well,
Neil Parrott and April.
yeah, so let's make sure that all of us, before we go to that breakfast, we'll make sure that we get an update so we can all tackle them and make sure we're,
Yeah,
Have
done.
some like shared goals.
yeah, everybody get,
Maybe
let's
even
all have
divide
our,
up a little bit.
right, have our talking points lined up.
A lot of people.
You know, Wade, so same old questions. Did we hear anything back from Ms. Hayden for anything?
As I showed you, I texted her, and she
Right.
has not
I
responded.
was just hoping for the last couple hours, maybe.
Yeah.
There was, no?
The short
Okay.
answer is no.
You have the down to the minute report.
We do, right?
Exactly.
Thank you for that. I know, I appreciate that too. I'm gonna go drive by her house. And then, and so
He's
then,
holding up the sidewalk.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Okay, that's the only other one since we handled streetscape, so. Got it. Thank you. In the planning commission meetings, was there any other talk or discussion about the contribution from the Willard development and the timing in coordination with it, with streetscape? Has that ever been something, are we just not on that subject right now?
Yeah, that has not been something that has been discussed at the planning level. This is what Wade and I have discussed with the Mr. Clifford and the Willards in terms of how they want to organize the actual project, but they are aware of their responsibilities on that end. And we've talked to them before about it too.
Yes, they're going to have to address stormwater pretty
First.
much up front in the project, and that's going
Right.
to encompass doing the very front of the project here, so.
I just think about the time, you know, we were all worried about which was going to get done first, and neither one of them were moving first.
Right, exactly.
So, okay, all right,
As long
we
as you
can,
brought that up, there's a giant digging machine over there, and it created quite a hubbub on Facebook.
Yeah.
Is that
yeah,
digging,
just keep,
They are doing some rock searching.
rock searching? Okay.
That's a good way of.
right here.
They're going to find it.
All right, I got kids at home, so I'm gonna circle us back.
So motion to adjourn from Sarah? Motion to adjourn from Sarah, second? Second from Ed and Jeff tied.
Jeff.
All in favor, and thank Jeff can have it, all in favor of ending the meeting, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? None? 4-0.
There's a trip hazard.
Charging. Even overnight.
You're welcome.